Are we live yet? Let's... All right, it looks like that we are live. We are just getting settled for everyone. So far, we have a few viewers as well in the chat. Absolutely amazing to see you all, Daniel, Dragon, and Jürgen Weiser. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. I'm dressed as well. Again, boys, it is time again. We have a small talk, and we have another 60 minutes to talk about what happened, what might happen, and we'll have an interesting guest as well this time. But yeah, first and foremost, welcome everyone. Just gonna wait until we have a few more people who are joining the chat here, and we can see Freefall as well. Shirt still not being ironed. Of course not. Of course, you know, you need to have some sort of craziness as well here a little bit, I can say, because why should we look as professional as the guys on TV if we do it for fun? But welcome everyone, boys. Today we'll have a very, very special guest, so make sure to stay as well tuned, to stay in the chat, to stay with us. After the review, we are going to have a interview of a very successful racer in Baku, and I'm not going to say anything further, but first and foremost, I will start the intro now, I guess. We're still on 6 viewers. Perfect for everyone to join the chat. Settle back, get some drinks, get your popcorn, make some sandwiches or whatever you prefer. And we are going to have a look to the races that we had in Baku, in Azerbaijan. Very, very tight turns. It's very, very easy to get damage there. And it was very, very interesting to first commentate in the CRA, in the academy, and then also see all the races back from tier 3, 2, and 1. We had some really good overtakes. We have the top 5 overtake video as well uploaded now on the channel. Click on the channel and then have a look for the latest video. Have a look if your overtake, your nomination is in there. Hopefully you will enjoy it. It was a lot of fun making it. But before we get started with the review, I would like to do an official announcement and say welcome back, my dear friend and the main content creator, content admin. We have Gamma himself. He is back. Gamma, if you want to do the magic technical stuff work, welcome, Gamma.
Yeah, I was about to say before Freefall said it. Your shirt hasn't been ironed, and I've only just noticed that. That's really poor from you.
You know me. That's you always need to have something, a reason for people talking about you, and that's my reason. So laziness is coming towards me.
This is poor. This is poor.
But talking about laziness, we can see as well my friend Gamma as well prepared this time, has the CRL tag in front of his name, and also very well dressed for this podcast. It's a special day, and he prepared himself as well.
I've got dressed literally about an hour ago.
That is fine. We all woke up an hour ago.
I've been up since 7. I've just not got dressed at all. So
okay.
And then
let's
and then I forgot today was podcast day, and
poor of you.
Yeah. So, but.
And Mrs. Steiny came around and said, "Oh, welcome. We have another podcast day. What is your opinion about this and that?" Oh, really?
Yeah,
But hey.
Well, in my defense, I thought today was Saturday. So.
Yeah.
For a moment of it, but it is actually. I realised it was Sunday, and I'm thinking, yeah, I should probably do some work today.
Maybe. We'll all had to do some work.
Yeah. Thanks to Freefall though for holding the fort for me for the last 2 weeks.
Yes, absolutely. He's done a great job jumping in today in the chat. Shout out to him. But yeah, he was a great co-commentator, helping me doing the interview and setting up everything. So yeah, much appreciated, Freefall.
Yeah. So, well, now that you're the host of this this podcast, you've taken over this. Are we getting started?
We are getting started indeed, and we are going to start with a review of what happened and to have a look of what happened during the race. We are going to start with the academy, have everything set up as well. Perfect technique is working as well. But yes, CRA, the race was on Monday. It was definitely a lot of fun commentating. However, we're just going to leave aside the technical issues that some sort of unprofessional commentator had. But other than that, the racing was good. It was good.
It was. Baku's an interesting track. It's not an easy one. It's Monaco on steroids, to put it simply. Yes. But it's difficult for a number of reasons. Obviously, the barriers, the castle section, which a couple of people fell victim of across the whole tiers. But getting that balance correct, one of the big problems of Azerbaijan is how much downforce are you willing to drop? Because, of course, you've got the big long straight, but that middle sector is a killer. And it's that question of what can you afford to trade off? But it was good racing in general, as probably we all imagined. It was mostly down the back straight where most of the overtaking was done. But in general, it was really good racing. It was fair.
Mostly.
Mostly, yes. A fair few virtual safety cars and safety cars just across the board. But it made for some really good racing overall. The Academy highlights were a lot of fun to watch through and edit.
Yes.
To be fair, these highlights have been the most difficult because there's been so many laps that I've had to try and edit down, and I've struggled, and I've had to look at, okay, what do I have to get rid of, and I've had to get rid of a couple of big bits that I kind of regret now. Yeah. But
yeah, I can imagine it's always very difficult if the sound itself is not working properly.
Yeah.
And I do see the reason as well. We need to have a proper conversation with a certain commentator that he doesn't host again. But it's also very, very good to hear that the main commentator, Faisal Blacker, is back, but we are changing the subject at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about the race, we had as well one of the biggest performance, best performance from the driver itself and the person I gave my personal driver of the day to was Hedgehog,
Mm-hmm.
who started on P11 and ended P2. That was a really strong performance. And as far as I remember, he started on hard tires as well.
He did,
And
yeah.
perfect. Thank you very much. And yeah, amazing race from him.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. He did indeed start on hard tires, and that gives you such a good advantage in a way, because if there is a safety car, you've got that opportunity to adjust. So if, say, for example, you get it fairly early on, you can pit for mediums and go, I don't know, 15, 16 laps on them. If you get, but with those hard tires, I think they can do about 18, 20 laps or so. You could take them all the way to the end, stick a set of softs on, and go for it. But yeah, Hedgehog did a really good performance, and it's just general consistency. He was there when it mattered, and that was what was important with it. Good stuff from Bex Pro as well. He got he generally performed really well. Was definitely very happy with that last safety car. Just was able to pit for softs, no threat behind, and just to go for it as well. So it was good fun. I enjoyed the academy race. It was also, I was interested as well because with Freefall and Piero both being promoted up from academy to tier 3, always gives that opportunity to see who's going to capitalize on it. So it was good, and great for Bex Pro as well, leading the championship. Very strong top 3 as well. Jay Wills as well.
Absolutely. So close as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jay Wills taking pole. Mercedes in general were very quick in qualifying first, and I think they both were in the top 4, which was very good. And Sniper Boys as well had a good qualifying. I believe he was P3 if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not 100% sure as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I absolutely agree. We had some great performance. If you look at consistency, as you mentioned before, very, very important as well, in my opinion, especially on tracks like Baku, where mistakes always can happen. So virtual safety cars and safety cars itself are always to calculate and to trying to predict. But yeah, some driver, as we will come to one of the most successful driver during the Baku race later on, who will be our special guest. But consistency is absolutely a big key. And if we change to the graphic as well, from the not from the current standings, but from the race history, we're having a quick look as well. Ben, as well, as you can see here, again taking the fastest lap, and as well an extra point. 41 points is a huge comeback. Having a quick look over the results here from the race. Before we go into the next tier, and this would be tier 3.
Mm-hmm. This was an interesting one.
Absolutely.
I enjoyed this one. Was, and probably of all of them, the biggest hassle to edit. But I enjoyed this one.
What happened in tier 3? Why did you enjoy it that much?
It was, I mean, generally the level of overtaking was insane. But we had a bit of a situation towards the last 2 laps. We had a safety car brought out by, I believe, Krager, who retired. And it was in that period where the rain started to come down. And we've seen this situation before. Rain comes down under a safety car, where you could either pit for inters if you think the track is going to be wet enough for it, or you stay on slick tyres. And with 2 laps to go, there's that a really sort of conscientious decision. If it does rain, and you're on the slick tyres, you're in trouble. But if you're on the wet tyres, you're in a great position. But vice versa could happen, and that was the decision a lot of people had to make. Freefall led the race, and I think he had the most awkward decision to make, because it's one of those calls which could make you look really clever or really silly. And he stayed so he was on medium tires, and he stayed out obviously, and that was I completely understood that decision and I agreed with it. Everybody else behind him started to pit for inters, and I was thinking, track may be wet, but is it just greasy or is it too wet? And as the safety car pulled away, that's when we started the inters really worked.
Mhm.
But the last two laps were chaos. There was cars in the barriers, cars losing their front
Absolutely.
wings.
It's
Um,
yes.
it was
It was absolutely chaos as well.
and
I absolutely agree with you.
yeah.
Especially, it's so tricky sometimes to find the breaking points on slick tires. If it starts to rain, it's the track is getting wetter and wetter. It's very tricky to find your breaking points, especially if you're all close together at the safety car restart. We had as well Freefall. I think had some damage as well. Had to try to survive as well with damage over an entire lap,
Mm,
who led the race. And people like Red Sky were able to take a huge advantage.
mm,
Some big overtaking there from his side and taking P2 for the race. Very impressive.
mm. I think the big gainer was Kogatas because there was a massive crash in, I think, was it turn 4, and thankfully for Kogatas, the crash happened. They crashed. They were on the left hand side. Kogatas was on the right, just sneaked straight through them and took I believe P2, which eventually became P1 once he
Ooh,
passed
okay.
P1. So that was really good stuff. And Kogatas didn't look anywhere in the race at all up until the last two laps, and suddenly he finds himself winning the race, which I just thought
Absolutely.
was phenomenal. Um,
Surprising and a very positive part. Absolutely impressive, taking advantage of some smaller mistakes from the drivers around you.
mm,
It shows as well a good level of awareness of what's going on around you, paying attention of the opponents, the driver around you, the tires and everything. So very well done from his side. Kutas, 40 points on his account.
yeah.
Let's have a quick look at his standing as well, where he is currently going to tier 3. Kukutas was able to increase his points now all the way to P10.
Hmm.
Very important for him.
Absolutely, yeah, and puts him straight in the championship fight. Um, Great stuff as well from I've lost my train of thought. Freefall as well. I'm giving him so much praise because obviously he's
Definitely
come
too
from
much.
academy,
Yeah.
and he looks super solid. Both Renaults look amazing that race as a whole. Both Freefall and Liverpool fan as well. So
Yes.
respect to both Renault drivers for that. But yeah, obviously for sure, Kogatas, Freefall, 4-star and Marconi as well. Both were very good in that race. Shame,
Yeah.
disappointing. Obviously, I believe it was Marconi and Killer J who were both caught up in an incident. Both of them look
Mm.
very good as well. So it was a shame not to see them there. Krager as well looked very good. Qualified and Pete was running in the podium places for a long period
Yeah.
of time as well. So
Good
um,
battles with McConey as well at the front. So just
mm,
to mention.
yeah, absolutely. So, but it was a really good. Just generally, I enjoyed watching it. I watched the highlights over and over again. To be honest, it was generally a lot of fun. I must have missed a fair few collisions just because of how much was going on in those last two laps, but yeah, was very good to watch. So, respect to the tier 3 drivers for giving us a very good race.
And a lot of footage as well. That was enjoyable for me to make the overtake video as well.
Hmm.
We have some good moves there from driver in tier 3. It's amazing to see that we have so many nominations as well from people from all over the tier system. Perfect. Just send them all in, and then we'll vote for the top 5 overtakes as well here. But we are going to move on to tier number 1 this time. Yes, I'm jumping tier 2 on purpose, and we are going to start with the points right now of the standings of the race. Jerome Weiser qualified P1, brought it home. Very impressive. We didn't have a safety car, we had two virtual safety cars. The very first one was very annoying. It was straight after turn one, where everyone was very close together. We got a couple of 5 seconds time penalties just because we touched each other, but they were easily removed again from the steward. But yeah, it was really tricky, especially at the beginning. But yeah, it was a very tricky race as well for a driver like Mark, who had his first race as well in Tier 1 in Azerbaijan. As I was mentioning before, having the first race in the tier when you get promoted, and going to Baku in Azerbaijan, trying to battle there, and consistency is key. As we've talked before. I've heard his feedback. It was very challenging from his side. Still managed to finish P12 just in front of me. It took 1 point more. But yeah.
Stein is secretly upset with that.
Very secretly.
Yeah, but no, another good one. Great to see DeWill back on the podium as well after has been not such a great race. AJ as well, 2 podiums back to back now, which is another impressive feat. But generally, and going back to your point on VMark, obviously first race in Tier 1, you could either approach it in 2 ways. You could either be really confident because you were quick in Tier 2 and you think, okay, now I'm playing with the big boys. Now I'm feeling great. Or you could feel really petrified about it. But VMark has generally been a very quick driver from what I saw in Tier 2. So I'm not really surprised he has impressive performance. It may not look it in P12, but I think still, people will improve, and obviously the level of Tier 1 at the moment it is top tier, but it is so competitive to a point where if you lose a 10th somewhere, that can drop you from like P5 down to P15.
Absolutely.
It's insane.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was going to say as well with Baku as well, given it's the second longest track on the calendar now, losing time anywhere makes such a huge difference because there's so many corners. It's such a long track. You lose, and you'll see it in Singapore as well. If you make one mistake, that could ruin your entire lap. Even if it's only like a 10th and a bit, you could literally lose the whole lap because of how much time, how many corners there are. But in general, I think Tier 1 is the most competitive it's been. And it will only get more competitive as you see drivers in there. So VMarks being in there will add more to the competition that we've got at the moment. So
absolutely,
it's very tight at the top for sure.
I totally agree, and you love to see it as well that so many drivers have the lovely, where's it? Oh, wrong way. The lovely, where's the camera? No, there. The CRL tag in front of the name, and as well, of course, once I get it right, there we go. The CRL for Gamma as well in front of the names. You love to see it as well if you have CRL just from the top to the bottom. But yeah, there were great performances. As well, I like to mention Krishna, who started on P20 and he made it all the way to P10, the improvement by 10 positions, very well done. But also Nemo, who started P14 and finished P4, a great performance. And you mentioned AJ as well, started P12 and finished P3. Amazing battle there at the front, especially for the championship, the long run. That's what you need to focus on. But all over the field, great performance. And as you said, this is my preferred screen. Actually, we going now to the current driver standings. Unfortunately for my side, but if we swap around the standings, there we go, very nice and smooth. We are looking at AJ and Harvey at the top with just one little point. It's nothing of a difference. It's absolutely close battle there. with the Alfa Romeo and the McLaren driver. 92 points for AJ, 91 points for Harvey, and Nathan as well, brother, is just so close behind him. Top three are absolutely close together, and just leading in front of Ferg and Duwell. Duwell was able to get back into high positions now after the race. So very important for him as well. Get back into the championship fight, defend your current title. It's a long season, and you have so many different tracks. It's going to be very tight battle at the front. And Mark as well at the moment in P8 right now with 53 points, as we talked about him before.
Two head admins in the top three. Are we calling a conspiracy here? No, it is incredibly tight, and I didn't expect it to be as close as it has been. I know it's honestly only been 4 rounds at the moment, but it's good, and it's not the individuals in the top 2 that I thought it would be. I think most people went into the race thinking it's DeWill versus Ferg. Harv has gone 2 steps further than he was last season. I thought he was quick last season. He's gone 2 steps further again, as has Nathan and AJ. Nathan, I know, is... I think Nathan and Ferg have both removed ABS, and they look generally very quick. VMark's in the top 10. Obviously, he transferred half his points from Tier 2, and still collected a few this one as well. So, and great, but yeah, no, really good stuff. And DeWill's still in the top 5 despite what's been a pretty rocky season for him. It's I think that once again brings out DeWill's consistency. He's not out the championship fight.
Absolutely not. It's just 19 points behind P1. Everything is possible, especially with the new point system. This is going to make the midfield battles and the consistency for the driver so important for the 15 race season that we have. But yeah, I do like the point that you pointed out with Duwell now coming back to the top. Very important for him, and he is one of the street specialists. Another track coming up, Singapore. As we'll have a quick look into that in a second. But yeah,
I suppose we're not going to talk about 20th place, Mr. CRL Steiny 007.
Yeah, this is something that it needs to be investigated. We need to have a look what happened there. I've heard from him personally that he had some personal improvements. It started on P17, went for hard tires, but as we were mentioning, the consistency was key. He was able to take the front position from the hard tires runner. But again, one small mistake, went into the wall, just had a small little kiss with the wall, and the race was over, especially with Duwell straight behind you and 2 more cars in the castle section. A lot of pressure there for him.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, with the walls, it's such an easy thing to do. I think most people are guilty of hitting Baku's walls.
Absolutely.
But yeah, going back to that point on consistency, it's you can be as quick as you want to be, but if you're not consistently delivering, that's a problem. And that's why you see the likes of DeWill and Ferg, Harvey, Nathan, AJ, in that sort of top quadrant, because they are generally very consistent drivers, as well as quick as well. So, but yeah, I think going forward, we've got.
Yes.
What have we got?
What we have very, very important now. We have jumping to Tier 2. If we have a nice transition here as well, absolutely perfect. We have Tier 2 coming up. Let's have a quick look through, because we have our special guest still waiting. Let's not talk about it too much. Let's have a look at the final standing here for the race in Baku for Tier 2. Turbus taking the W here, was able to take 40 points home. A good performance for him. What did you take away from the race, Tier 2?
Again, very similar. The race, much like sort of Academy Tier 3, it was a generally fairly competitive race. I was glad to see Tobis finally taking the win. Another driver that I felt was very quick, but just had, for all sorts of different reasons, didn't come to him. I was also really happy to see KXI up there. He was in tier one last season. Um, Looked like he had potential, and generally as he's come into tier two, he's generally been really quick and just looked like there's definitely some potential in there. So it was really nice to see him on the podium for Racing Point as well. Um, yeah, no, I enjoyed the race
Absolutely
for sure.
agree.
For sure, it was there's a bit of a hassle in there, and shame to see Little One's first race as a tier two driver after a dominant performance in tier three. Sadly, it ended with a DNF. But McLaren again not having a great season.
Not really. Let's
Double,
hope real life is going to be different. Not getting the curse as well for realize there.
yeah,
But as
yes,
well as you said, with driver changes, Panda as well here was able to take just 1 point. Who was previously racing in tier one. Many changes. But we're gonna have a quick look at the current standings as well right now for tier two. If we have a look at this. There we go. Let's have a quick look to the standings currently. Alex TG 110 points at the front. Very impressive racing for him. Just 37 points ahead of Torbis. Really good for him. And Dragon on P3. But before we go into everything and hear about the race, I would like to introduce you, the driver, to we interviewing this week. And for that, I'm going to change the graphic as well again. If we have a nice transition there, absolutely perfect. Just preparing everything. We had an absolutely very impressive performance from the man himself, and I would like to officially congratulate Alex TG to the driver of the week and welcome him as well alongside on the commentator. Alex, good evening. How are you doing?
Good evening.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm doing well. Still pretty happy after Thursday. So yeah, doing pretty well. Improved my mood.
That's good to hear. Absolutely impressive. Started from P20 and finished the race in P2. Now, after a long waiting time, longer than expected. Apologies from our side to you, but thank you again for being very patient here with us as rookie commentators. Still a few bits and bits here to learn. But this is something for later to discuss, because more importantly is why don't you talk us through the absolute very impressive performance from starting all the way at the back of the grid and finishing a P2. How did your race go?
Yeah, my qualifying wasn't great. I came out of the pits and my wheel just steered me left into the wall. So wasn't a great start there. So it could only improve really. But yeah, I was looking forward to the challenge of going from last, seeing what I could do. And yeah, after the start was all right. I think no, it wasn't actually. During the first lap, I hit my front wing, so
Yeah.
I pitted, got a new front wing onto the mediums, and then safety car came out. So I think I was up into about 15th after the safety car on fresh mediums. So that was all right. And then yeah, three overtakes in there, getting through the field, and then yeah, it was really enjoyable, really. And then
Wonderful.
yeah,
Absolutely
safety
impressive.
cars really helped me out, really. But yeah,
Impressive, especially if you have a small incident like you just said at the very beginning of the race, and you even started at the very end of the grid after the qualifying, and then starting with some struggles there at the beginning. Like, what do you think was the reason for you being able to keep up the pace and still being motivated to keep pushing, because it's a long race? And what were your thoughts like when you at the beginning of the race?
yeah. Well, it is a long race. I just thought as I was coming into it, I was just like, if I keep up a consistent a consistent pace, lap to lap, and then just try and make my way slowly through the field, just keep on going, and hopefully by the end, with a bit of luck, if hopefully there was a few safety cars came out, I was thinking for the start that'd be pretty handy. I was just thinking, yeah, consistent pace, see what happens in front of me, react to that, like I did with the safety cars, and then whatever happens,
See how it
happens.
goes.
Yeah,
More enjoying the race, the actual racing, rather than focusing on positions and seeing like, okay, I need to overtake so many people to get into the points. And I think this was maybe from the little bit you have taught me so far, very important as well. That is, it's never too late. Whatever position you start, there's always the opportunity for a podium, as your performance shows here. But from my side, very impressive. I'm not too sure what Gamma's opinion is on that, but yeah, very impressive.
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
thank
yeah, no, I agree. I think obviously 20th to second is always good. Um, but on Baku as well, I know it's obviously very easy track. People think it is because of the back straight. It's the easiest one. But when you're following cars through that middle sector with that looming castle section, the wall, it's so much more difficult to do. Um, but just on that first lap, you had the front wing damage. You pitted for mediums. Was there any part of you that thought, you know what, I'm going to stay out because I don't want to lose that track time, or was your mind like, no, I'm definitely pitting this lap?
you. Yeah, well, I just thought it was. I think it was orange front wing, so I was pretty certain on coming in. I was
Yeah,
pretty near the back, so I thought, I mean, I may as well come in now. If there's a safety car's pretty likely around Baku, so I thought if there's a safety car in the next few laps, like there was, few of the leaders, people up front will be pitting. So I thought, if I pit now, I might be able to make my way through the pack if
yeah,
that happens later on. So, and
yeah.
luckily it was.
Yeah, that's the main thing for sure. Was there a part of you that thought of going soft tires on that first stint just to try and sort of mitigate the first lap and then try and extend the mediums on a second lap, perhaps second stint, or was it just
Possibly,
medium?
it was close. I just thought medium to the end. I did a bit of practice before on the softs. They lasted all right, but I just thought it'd be better to be safe,
Yeah,
stick with the mediums, and yeah, because you never know with safety cars.
yeah,
Don't want to be on the softs for too long. So
yeah. Completely makes sense around Baku,
yeah.
but no, really was impressive. I enjoyed watching it. I love stories of going from last to second. Is a But when that did happen though, that very first lap, did you believe second place was possible, or was it just a case of just try and do whatever I can?
Yeah, well, not really, to be honest. I was just thinking, just drive my race really. If there's a bit of luck in there, I'll take it. But it was just enjoyable really, just going around at the back, seeing what's going on.
Yeah.
A few incidents in front of me which helped, but
Mm.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
think I think it was lap 23. I went from seventh up to third because of an incident at turn 1 and 2. So it
Mm.
was pretty handy. But that's what you've got to do. You've got to be behind to take advantage of it. So
Yeah,
that's what I did.
absolutely no, but very impressive. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's my seal of
it's hard to
approval.
find. It's hard to find some words here from P22, P2. But yeah, as we were talking about it already, you were more focusing on actually enjoying the racing, enjoying you being on the field, and not having to think about making some high positions, having to finish on the podium, and just getting rid of all the pressure. I think it's. What's as well so important if you start in a further back of the field. But as you said, very good already, and we have some more pictures as well that we would like to show you during the interview. So if Gamma is having a quick look to that one to sort that one out. But at the moment, you mentioned already that you are racing on the wheel. If you want to talk about, if you want to introduce yourself a little bit, or leave a few words about you and your experience with racing and real life racing experience, any sort of type, or how did you find out about Cone?
Yeah, well, I've actually only picked. I didn't play last year's game, so I didn't have it, and I did
Yeah.
like the look of this year's game with the my team, and so I decided to buy this game. I joined one league back in probably September time, Um, and then he's in this league, Kieran T, 2014, Tomo. He brought me into this league. So yeah, it looked from the outside, it looked like a very good league, and from what he said, it was. I did look forward to joining, and yeah, with my wheel, I've had it for a few years now. It's got a couple issues like what happened in qualifying,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's a G29, so it's quite a nice wheel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely love it.
really fun to play.
I absolutely agree. I'm actually having the exact same wheel as well, the Logitech G29. I think a very good starter wheel next to the Thrustmaster T150 or 1500 or one of those two. But yeah, I didn't even play the last game as well. So did you jump into Formula One straight away with F1 2020, or it did sound like you had a bit of wheel experience already in the years before?
Yeah, I had 2018, but I didn't really play it too much because I wasn't really in leagues back then. I just played it for myself,
Yeah.
just to have a bit of fun. I think I started off with controller during that game, and then I thought, I think I got it as a Christmas present, the wheel. So that was a nice present from mum and dad. But yeah, I tried.
Amazing.
Yeah, I tried playing with the controller the other night, and I was absolutely awful. I couldn't couldn't drive at all.
Yeah,
So
I can.
it makes me wonder how I played with that, but
Yeah,
it was
I
difficult.
absolutely. I feel you there. It's very interesting to see that we have a similar back in story as well. Not playing 2019, but starting on 18 on the controller and getting the wheel. I definitely see where you come from. Uh, but I think it's a beautiful feeling to feel the track in your hands with the wheel. You can adjust so many settings, and one of my favorite moments for racing as well, feeling the grid. But yeah, is there? How about real life racing experience? Have you ever been to a race, or how do you support? What is how are you connected to racing?
Yeah, well, I've always enjoyed watching F1. My mum and dad brought me into it, so I've been to I think 3 or 4 Grand Prix, British Grand Prix,
Wow,
during my life. So
nice.
they're always really fun to go to. It'd be nice to go back after COVID,
Yeah.
go to a few Grand Prix, but yeah, I've been karting for fun. So when we go on holiday, we often go karting. Um, it's
Oh, amazing.
just for fun, really. But other than that, I don't really have much experience in real life. But
Right.
yeah,
But just visiting races already, you've already visited four more races than I have ever visited. So I've not had the pleasure of going to an actual race just yet. And you're going to Silverstone, one of the most famous tracks from Formula One, amazing circuit, one of many favorite uh, uh, drivers as well. A huge and great track to watch, I assume. How is it? How is it going there? And did you have what was it called? General
admission is it?
admission?
Yeah,
Yes, was it the general admission ticket you went for?
yeah, it was. We were just on the grass. I don't know if you know it, but it's quite a big grass area for the fans in front of a grandstand by Club
Yeah,
Corner.
yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen that there. There's,
yeah, by the pit lane. So it's really nice, but it's just so nice like seeing it in real life after watching it on TV, all the races, and then actually going to a real race with the commentary, seeing the cars, seeing the drivers. It's just like it's a like almost an unreal feeling, really.
for the benefit of people who've not been to a race before, i.e., me, what's the difference between watching it on TV and being there in real life? Is there sort of specific things you notice there?
Yeah, well, there's a big screen in front of you, so you've always got the live feed coming through.
Hmm.
Um, obviously, you see the cars coming through. It's just the sound, even though the cars don't sound great, but
Yeah,
with the V6 engines as good as they used to be.
yeah,
It's just the sounds, the cars, and then with the atmosphere around you. one of the years I went was when Vettel was in the lead and Hamilton was behind, and it was when Vettel got a puncture going around lap field,
Yeah,
and
I
the
remember
roar,
that.
the roar that went up then was extraordinary, really.
Was that 2017? That
Yeah, it was.
was,
I think
yeah.
so,
I remember
Oh,
that. I remember the
it
two
was
Ferraris getting punctures for that. So
yeah, yeah. The roar that went up was brilliant. Yeah,
yeah, no, really like yeah. Silverstone's on my dream list to go to. I wanted to go last year, but
Yeah,
then
absolutely.
COVID happened, so
yeah,
I didn't get the
yeah,
opportunity to. So no, but Silverstone is a nice track. I can hear Sebastian Vettel's voice in my head saying hashtag bring back the V12s because we do all love the sound of the old engines back, but
lovely. Yeah,
I don't think we'll be getting them anytime soon, unfortunately.
Maybe not. It's gonna take a while there. And at the meantime, as well, I'm having a quick look at the chat as well. It's a bit quieter today, but obviously we have our dragon, not on fire but on speed, who's also commenting on your race, Alex. So a big congratulations as well. He was saying that you had a great race, and you had some really good battles as well together on track, and it was just a great drive. The car looks unbelievable. Fast in real life blowed his mind as well. So very, very good feedback as well there from your opponents on track, Dragon as well. Congratulating you to your performance of the week.
yeah. We had I think it was for a few laps. He was just on my tail, and then we were all in the DRS train really, so it was really difficult to get past. Yeah, we all had the same pace, so it was good fun. He overtook me at turn one on one of the laps, but then I got him back around the outside of turn two, which was pretty nice. So yeah, it was really good. It was really good fun, really good race, and yeah, good battles. Always love a good battle. So
Does that make it more satisfying to get that P2 when you're having
Oh.
to fight that harder rather than just
yeah, yeah, it's always nice. Rather than just driving around lap by lap, it makes it more entertaining, really. So yeah, really, really good.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I can understand that because I got a podium I think 2 seasons ago, and back I did no overtake and I didn't enjoy it. So I can completely understand it's a bit more fun if
Yeah.
you've worked you've had to do a lot of overtakes for it.
Yeah.
That's your first podium, isn't it?
No,
Is
I
it not? No, I
I
thought
won last week in Japan.
yeah,
it's
I thought
nice.
I thought I'd be wrong. I don't know why I was thinking no. This isn't his first podium, and
No.
I risked looking like an idiot live stream. But I knew full well Alex had had at
Yeah,
least
it's all
won a
good.
race, so I was just like I had to double
No,
check just
but-
to be sure.
That's all right. I mean, but yeah, still one of the top drivers. Well, taking the championship is going to be a long one. But maybe if we, at the meantime, anyone in the chat, if you have any questions, this is your opportunity to get to know him better. Put all your questions in the comments, and then we'll go through them step by step. And at the meantime, why don't we have a small look to the next. Yes, I'm just losing my voice here again. To the next track, the next upcoming track is Singapore, another street circuit, another circuit where it's going to be so close on the battles, it's going to be side by side battles. If we see some for a longer time over the lap, it's going to be really, really close, really risky, and I can't wait to actually drive. But what is your expectation for Singapore?
Is that for me or for
That was for Alex. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Just put it out out in the
So-
room. Put it out in the room. Whoever feels like just say something.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Obviously Baku's street circuit, and that went pretty well. So yeah, it'd be nice to see how Singapore goes. In my other league, I think I got a podium there, so I enjoy it, and it helps at the moment being at home so much. I can practice on time trial quite a lot. So hopefully get a bit more practice in this week, and then see what happens on Thursday. But yeah, looking forward to Singapore.
putting the times down on the panel already, trying to get a little bit quicker, getting a few more tenths here and there. Already preparing for the next race. Very thinking ahead and talking about podiums. We can have a look at the graphic that our admin AJ prepared for us already. We had Dual fastest pole time currently in the 1:33.8, and as well taking 1W in Singapore, as well as big balls, and Ben here, very, very impressive driving from Dual, who took as well the championship last year. But as we mentioned before, Dual, one of the 3 drivers taking pole position, the only driver who took pole position and won the race, but also Klur, PR, and Warriors Huntsman taking pole position in Singapore. It's a 1:33.8 as the qualifying pole time. How are you looking at the moment? How confident is your pace? Are you looking more of a consistent long run going, or are you going to push everything, get on the quickest tires as you can, and just show them that you're still on fire for the championship battle?
Yeah, well, I haven't practiced too much yet, so I'm not sure about the times, but I know I've practiced with Duo in the sessions, warm-up sessions for the Grand Prix, and he's always quite quick in those sessions. So yeah, I mean, it'll be good to get up there, get a good quality time, but I know my race pace is pretty decent, so I try to use that to my advantage most of the time. So
pretty decent after this performance. I absolutely agree.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, not too bad.
Absolutely. And we have the first question as well already here from Freefall himself. He's talking about how did you get to know Cone? How did everything start for you for Cone? A question from Freefall in the chat.
Yeah, so I was in another league a few months ago, and he joined a few months ago. So Kieran T 2014 got me to have a trial in this league, and it looked from the outside, it looked really good. And from what he told me, it's the best league he's been in. So I was basically, if I got through the trial, I was looking forward to getting into the league. Yeah, so I haven't been here for very long, but so far it's been a really good experience. Everyone's really nice, great battles on track, and yeah, it's just a really fun league to be a part of.
Absolutely. Everyone has been nice. I can absolutely agree with a few exceptions, but right, Gamma?
I don't race. I'm out of this one.
All right. Unfortunately, it's still my boss for content creation. But yeah, everyone is. We have a great community, in my opinion, as well. Something great that has been set up now in the 4th season, and it's just about to start. We are just starting with Cone. We're getting somewhere good.
It's weird to think we're only in round 5 at the moment.
Yes, right.
It's only been 4 rounds. Adding also, I've stayed silent on Singapore because I still want the Singapore sling back.
Yes.
I've been complaining ever since it was removed, and every time I see Singapore, I just want the Singapore sling back. But Singapore will be interesting. It's another street track, but it's a very different track layout. It's very difficult to overtake because of the nature of the track, even though there's 3 DRS zones now. But tire management will be big, and also pit stop strategy, because the undercut is so powerful on this track. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think strategy will be the big thing. It was a big part of last season as well for a lot of drivers. So yeah, but Singapore will be good, I think.
Yeah, absolutely agree. I think it's one of those tracks where you have a really good flow. It's a street track, yes, but the turns, you can cut so many curbs. It's almost every single turn you can gain a bit more time if you cut the curb on the inside line.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to think about any turn where you don't want to cut the curb on purpose, but I don't think there's none. This is going to be very interesting.
There is
Or
what they've replaced the Singapore sling with, those that little windy part of the track. There is a very nasty curb on the right hand side. You if you hit that, that can send you straight hitting into the wall. And it can destabilize the car. So a good car setup will be crucial for Singapore. But it's not just down to that, but also your level of confidence. If you're not confident in Singapore, you're going to find yourself at the back very quickly. But and that's why practice is so important, because the more you practice, the more confident you get with the car. You know the limitations and what you can push with the car. So yeah, those who really practice will reap the rewards in Singapore, I think.
yeah, absolutely agree. Confidence is key in many street tracks, as we will experience over the long season. We'll have another a challenging street track as well, with Monaco, one of the toughest ones out there. But if you're not committed to it, you lose so many tenths on so many turns, and everything will just add up over the length of the race. Very crucial in Singapore. Um, did you have a look for any strategies already, Alex? Anything that you prefer? Would you say that hard tires is something that you could go for, or is it just feeling so much slower, or is it just getting the qualifying times out at the moment and then doing the strategies later during the week? How do
I
you
think,
prepare?
yeah, I think I do a 50% race before to try and see tire wear. But I think last time I went for a soft hard, and that seemed to work pretty well for me. So I think that's what I'll be going for. But obviously qualifying and the strategy very crucial around Singapore, with not very many straights, short DRS lanes really, aren't they? So yeah, it's difficult to overtake. So strategy and qualifying pretty key.
Yeah, agree with that. Qualifying will be important. It always is important, but as Alex mentioned, with the lack of overtaking opportunities, track position will be crucial there, and that will be the big decision a lot of drivers will have to make. You can do a one-stop strategy and have that track position. Those who do a two-stop strategy will lose that track position, but they'll try and make it up with raw pace. So there's a lot of factors to take in. There's no right or wrong strategy from that. I think there's a lot to consider, and I think it will add a bit more heat into Singapore if it wasn't hot enough already.
Absolutely. Singapore is one of the tracks that is most challenging as well in real life for every single Formula One driver, just because it's usually in the middle of the season, and the location, it is so close to the not too sure how to pronounce it, but the equator.
Equator. Yeah.
Equator. Almost had it.
Got
It's
there.
good that I have you.
You had the right idea. To be fair.
There you go. You got the English accent now a bit more than I do. But yeah, it's a very challenging track for every single driver out there in real life as well. And I think with that being said, this will be a great opportunity for you, Alex, to leave your last few words. If you want to leave anything here, I think that's a good opportunity for you to sit back, relax now, enjoy watching back the stream, but then fully focus on your upcoming race already. If you want to leave any final words, this is your opportunity.
Yeah, well, yeah, thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to it. Singapore a lot. But yeah, so I'm not allowed out the house really at the moment.
I think as we all learned. So
yeah, the main event of my week is racing in Cone. So yeah, the best event of my week. So yeah, looking forward to Singapore.
Lovely, absolutely lovely there from you mentioning as well, Cone. Just prioritizing Cone as a community and this great racing experience, as we all try to put across to all the drivers, all the viewers as well out there. Cone, a great racing experience. If you are here new as well and you're still watching, first of all, thank you very much for watching everyone. Make sure to leave a like there as well if you enjoyed this interview. If you want to see more of that, also leave a subscription there if you want to stay updated for some more upcoming races, podcasting, but most importantly, watching races live and talking about that. Just at the very end, mentioning we have another race, and the very first race we'll have from the Academy going to Singapore tomorrow on Monday at 8 p.m. British time. I'm already very, very excited for the commentating. I can't wait for the lights to go off for the first time in Singapore. But yes, thank you very much, Alex, for jumping in and giving us the opportunity to get to know you a little bit better. And I think that we all can agree on that one right now. Chad was very happy as well with your performance, your interviews, your answers. So thank you once again. Congratulations on your performance. Driver of the week, Alex. Want to say a big thank you.
Cool. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
No worries. Anytime. And until later, guys, thank you very much for watching, and make sure to stay tuned as well for more Cone Race